Today we are going to cover the caste system. We are going to talk about how the caste system began. We are going to talk about the caste system in practice and how it is used today and in ancient times. And we are going to talk about the caste systems specifically. The caste system is so important in daily life in ancient India and in modern day India that people's lives revolved around it. Their job, their wealth, their marriage, their generations, their families, their money, everything revolved around the caste system. But why is it important? We're going to discuss that today. Let's begin with the origins of the caste system. The original beginnings of the caste system is believed to have started with a group of Indo-European, which is Indian and European descent, kind of a mixture of the two, Aryans, which loosely meant, the original definition of an Aryan is a nobleman or somebody who is middle to upper class. So Indian, European noblemen invaded India in 1500 before Common Era or BCE. The Indian European Aryans are warrior people who began to restructure the social classes to make it work for that group. Under their influence, Indian people were divided into 5 groups, which we're going to talk about today, based on birth, job, money. Those 3 things were really how they were based on. The caste system in practice today, it is still used. It is a little bit looser today, but it is still used today in parts of India. It is impossible to change a caste. The caste is passed down through families and generations, and the caste could not be friends with other castes, nor could they marry anybody in another caste, nor could they eat with each other in another class. So, today, wealthy class eats with middle and lower class eats with middle and wealthy class, middle class, lower and wealthy class as well. It's not out of the norm for that to happen. In ancient India, you can't do it. Nor in most parts of India today, you can't do it. You can't be friends with somebody in another caste. You can't marry somebody in another caste. Nor can you even eat at Parker's or Bojangles or McDonald's with somebody from another caste. So, the final part of the lesson for today is going to be about each of the castes specifically. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 castes and a 5th one that we're going to talk about as well. So let's begin with the first 4. You have Brahmins. Now don't get it confused with Brahmin from an earlier lesson. This Brahmin is with an I. The earlier Brahmin is with an A, so don't get it confused. This Brahmin is a priest, a teacher of Sanskrit, which is the early language of India. It's the only caste that is allowed to teach or attend school. So the Brahmins teach the Brahmins, and the Brahmins learn from the Brahmins. So this group is the top of the caste. The next group is Kshatriyas. Okay, shot, you get shot at. This group are the warriors. Shot, just remember K-S-H-A-T, Kshatriya. Okay, these are the warriors. Vaisyas are the herders, the farmers, and the craftspeople or the tradespeople or the business people. These are what we would call generally the middle class. Really this one and part of this one. It's really the Vaisyas is the United States middle class today. The final group is Sudras. The way that I want you to remember Sudras is if you say it slowly, Sud, you get Sud. These are farm workers, servants, and laborers. About 200 years ago in the United States, we had slavery here in the United States. This is the equivalent to that slavery there. It is farm workers, servants, and laborers. This group are the owners of those farms that the Sudras work. Now, 1, 2, 3, these three groups are all the Indo-European Aryan descent. These three groups. This group is the non-Aryan descent. This group is groups that were conquered by the Indians or the Indo-Europeans and were brought back, or these are the people that came in to India, had children in India, and lived their life in India. These are the non-Aryan people, this group right here. The final group. The final group is known as the Untouchables. The Untouchables get the name because people don't want to be touched, or they don't want to touch this group. They are not even a caste. They are below all others. They are not even part of these four castes. They handled the dead, because in India, in ancient India, oftentimes there wasn't any burial, so the Untouchables had to go out on the street wherever a person died at and get them and bury them. They were also responsible for garbage cleanup. This is not like waste management and Kinley and Pine Level town trucks that go around and pick up the trash. No. Basically what happened is people would throw their trash out outside their door or outside their window, not in trash bags. They were just by themselves. Like after they ate one night, they would throw out all the trash onto the ground outside their door, and the Untouchables were responsible for picking it up. The Untouchables were also responsible for human waste as well. There was no bathroom or indoor plumbing during the ancient Indian times, so people basically used the restroom wherever they needed to, right there on the street, and guess who was responsible for it? The Untouchables. Now, it was so severe, the Untouchables were not liked. It was so severe that when, at a certain age in ancient India, about early teens, an Untouchable was given 2 sticks. I'm using pencils for this representation. If an Untouchable needed food, and they had to go in town to get the food, they would have to take these 2 sticks, and as they were walking, they had to click them together. Why? Why did they have to do this? The reason they had to do it is so the other 4 groups, the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaisyas, the Sudras, that were in town could hear the clicking going on, and they could get out of the way so an Untouchable wouldn't get close to them. It was a belief of the ancient Indian caste system that if the Untouchables touched or got close to somebody, that one of 2 things would happen. Either they would have to wash multiple times to even get the touch off, or potentially in some strict parts of India that the caste system was be-all end-all. If an Untouchable touched one of these groups, then potentially one of these groups could become an Untouchable if they got touched. It was that severe. But because they clicked the sticks, or like drumsticks today, the 4 groups could get out of the way. We have talked about today how the caste system began, the origins of the caste system in practice, and the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas, the Vaisyas, the Sudras, and the Untouchables, and the 5 groups, and why each group, or who makes up each group. This is the caste system in India for today.